Hi guys, who's there? I'm just gonna check on the YouTube. Has anyone showed up yet? Comments, views. There's 5 people watching.
Live. Awesome.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, Rasha.
It's cool to see people joining in already. That's awesome. I'm excited.
I'm so thankful for you guys joining. Okay, so welcome to the Fatmaverse, I guess, and to the stream. I'm going to be watching Star Wars movies with the amazing Sean here, and I'm new to this because I clearly haven't watched any of them until I watched Rogue One, I think, last Friday. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and you can find me on Fringe Bats on both Instagram and Twitter, and I also write for Comic Book Debate, and I am part of the Watchtower Media and I also join in on the League of Mayhem streams. I'm sure you're all aware of the Zack Snyder one, but yeah, that's where you can find me, and that's what we're doing. Sean, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, you are much busier than I am. Unfortunately, I tend not to be on the public space as much, but you can follow me on Twitter at Real Sean Hussey. I also do the weekly Mandalorian reviews on Comic Book Debate, and occasionally you'll find me popping up here on different podcasts, whether it be for Comic Book Debate or here doing the live stream with Fatma. And I'm really excited. It's going to be fun. I think I've seen Star Wars a lot of times, but I don't know if I've ever actually watched it with someone who's never seen it. This is going to be a lot of fun for me, and I'm glad everybody's tuned in, and I'm excited.
Me too. So, do you want to talk a bit about Star Wars? As a person, I've not watched much, and I know the basic concepts of like the Death Star and like Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo. They're the names that I know, and then obviously you've got Baby Yoda, but like, the general things that you want to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the fun. Yeah, I think a lot of the fun with Star Wars is kind of being able to experience it for the first time too. So obviously I don't want to dive into too much until we start kind of getting into the movies and being able to, answer questions that you might have or just share little tidbits that I might have, or, things about production and things that I've gathered through years of watching the saga. I've just been enjoying Star Wars for years now. I kind of spoke about it with the bros on their stream last Sunday, but just kind of grew up watching it with my uncle and then kind of blossom into this love that I have now. Something I will tell you kind of as we go in is kind of the whole movie and the whole saga is really built on the idea of like Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, which is just like the sort of concept and like narratology and narrative writing about an arc that a hero goes on, and the whole theme of that a hero can be anyone, as we kind of see this with Luke Skywalker. It's really, I won't go through all that throughout the movie. I've done articles before on it. I might do one for Comic Book Debate again at some point. But kind of this idea of a hero can be anyone and come from anywhere, and you go on this journey with Luke, especially in the first movie, which we're going to be watching tonight, and seeing, his journey is a really crucial part of how George Lucas sort of established and wrote this first film. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to try to point out some things on the way for that, but we're going to be talking a lot of different elements of Star Wars. And of course, feel free to ask any questions that you might have. And we've got the chat pulled up. So if anyone has any, points or comments in the chat, I'd be more than happy to read those out and talk about those as well.
I think this is, I'm so new to this, guys, but yes, I'm going to show this comment. She said that she's excited for the commentary. Rasha, is that how you say your name? I'm just going to try and pull it up. I'm just trying to.
There you
go.
Awesome.
Yes. yes, people are looking forward to it, which is great. But yeah, so what we're doing is just to avoid any legal stuff. Me and Sean and I will be watching it together over Disney Plus. So the version that we're watching is the one that's on Disney Plus. I don't know what other versions there are. Sean's going to be talking to me about that as well, because that sounds like an interesting, story behind that. But we'll start in when do you want to start?
Give it another about 5 minutes. We can kind of talk, and if you have any questions, give it about another 5 minutes, and then we can kind of give everybody a timestamp, and we can start from there.
Brilliant. But yeah, so what's your opinion on the Mandalorian? Okay, I'm fine with spoilers because one, I still don't know any of the characters or anything about this world, so it might make sense to me as we go along. But you can talk about Mandalorian and things that you're excited about. And yesterday's episode, was it yesterday or the day before?
It dropped kind of today. It might be yesterday because of time zones for certain people. I'm not going to get into spoilers for today's episode. Don't worry if you're in the chat and you haven't seen it yet. I'll probably be talking about the show quickly, but like more overall as opposed to like specific plot points. So don't worry about spoilers, guys. It's going to be, it's been really good. I think that this is a different type of Star Wars than we've seen in a long time. I think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been doing a really good job. I definitely think there are certain elements that I don't always agree with, but that's the thing about Star Wars is I really try to love and appreciate all of it, even the stuff I don't necessarily disagree with or the things I don't like. I know why they're there. I know, why certain plot points in movies and TV and exist. And as we kind of get into it and start seeing more movies, I didn't mention this yet, but A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie. So I'm really excited to watch this one. But there are definitely like my least favorite Star Wars movies and different elements of different movies that I, don't enjoy as much. So it's about being objective, but also just enjoying it as a fan. And, I'm not the type of person who's just gonna, really like trash a movie, I guess. There are, of course, things I dislike. But as for The Mandalorian, really good. Overall, just really exciting. And I think what's great is because of the introduction of Baby Yoda, you have so many new fans coming to the saga. I mean, I have family members who have started watching Star Wars as a result of The Mandalorian. It's kind of been this really new network that's going to be, something that brings a lot of new people to Star Wars the same way the Clone Wars did for my generation or the prequels did for, others, and even the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, it's different elements and different time periods of Star Wars bring different people to the franchise. That was a long-winded answer, but The Mandalorian's been really good and I'm excited.
That's great. Maybe I'll get into it too. I mean, I'm doing this and I'm really excited to like properly get into this world, and having your opinions is just like and your facts are going to be so great too, because I really enjoyed Rogue One and I don't understand why people had an issue with it. Is that one of your least favorite movies?
No, I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One and A New Hope are my 1 and 2 kind of favorite films, and they kind of flip-flop all the time. One thing I will let you know before we kind of get started is you were asking about what kind of like versions we were watching. Basically, we're watching like the definitive version of Star Wars now. And a lot of people question that because there are different cuts and different versions that are slightly different, but it really breaks down to there was the movie that released in theaters in 1977. And then I think in the 90s prior to the prequels coming out. And then again, George Lucas started changing things. Just over the years, he began to add different CGI elements or deleted scenes, and those became known as the special editions for a really long time. And people kind of wanted the original versions. Some people liked those more. I've really only ever seen like the special editions. So that's just like the definitive version of Star Wars. And by George Lucas's eyes and Disney's eyes and Lucasfilm's eyes, like those are the definitive versions. Those original versions that released in theaters all those years ago for the whole original trilogy aren't really like a version that they release or, or a version that they deem as sort of like canon, which I'll talk about the canon a little bit throughout. But there was one new addition that I will point out during the stream to this movie when the film came to Disney Plus. So there's one new little addition that they've added. And so now I guess this would be the new definitive version of Star Wars, whatever they're releasing here on Disney Plus.
Cool. This is really exciting, and I'm getting to see the definitive version over the one that was there years ago. Can people get it?
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever release the originals again. There are ways to get HD versions of those. There have been people who have enhanced those versions for free that you can go watch, and they definitely have their appeal. But there are definitely elements of them too that are better off left in the past. And then I think Fozitude just threw it in chat about 1997 was when they released the special editions, but they've also received a lot of updates since that point. So,
sorry, I'm just going to show it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's the whole perfect. That's the point of StreamYard. I love that we can throw that up there.
Yeah, guys, bear with me. I'm very new to this, so hopefully I'll catch the way it works. But yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, we can start pulling it up and get a timestamp for everybody, and we'll see if we can get it. Once you start playing it, I should be able to join the stream from Disney Plus.
Okay. You got it?
1 sec. I'm just going to refresh. Perfect.
Pause the video. I'm at 9 seconds. What are you at?
Perfect. I'm at 9. Yeah. So whatever you control, I'm going to see now.
Okay.
So yeah, for everybody watching at home, we're going to just start off at 0000, and then you can kind of count us down from there, and we'll get ready to watch some Star Wars.
Okay, well, I'm going to start now. Is it starting now for you?
Yep.
Okay, we've started, guys. 20th Century Fox, wow. It seems like a relic now.
Yeah, so that was something that was really exciting too, is I'll add before the crawl starts. The 20th Century Fox logo got taken out for a little while from the movies because when they got bought by Disney, 20th Century Fox didn't own them anymore, but now they're back on Disney Plus. And then we have our first crawl.
Okay, I'm going to try and read as quickly as I possibly can. And here's that awesome, iconic tune. Even if you haven't watched Star Wars, you know this. There's no way you can't. It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won the first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon. I know this because I watched Rogue One. The Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. And that's where I left off last week.
Perfect.
But we will watch Rogue One together, guys. Again.
That would be awesome.
It was so, so beautiful.
Yeah, I love Rogue One, and it's perfect because it's just a perfect piece. I like to watch them back to back now because they lead into each other so well, as you're about to see.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. What planet is this, Sean?
So we're currently above Tatooine.
They've done a really good job with making it HD. It does not look like it was made in the 70s at all.
No, and I think that goes to a lot with what the model team did back in the day. You know, these models still look so good, and that's why Star Wars is such a pioneer in visual effects and special effects.
R2D2 and C3PO again. You don't even need to watch them to know them. I feel like. I love it. It still holds up. I'm gonna say this quite a bit, I think, because in my head, this is such an old movie.
I think there'll be certain points where you're like, "Whoa, this looks a little old," but it's so far the opening sequence is really great. It holds up very well.
Yeah. And they kept the costumes really well in Rogue One as well. They did a really great job there. Like with the hat that's like helmet.
Yeah, the great helmets.
Stormtroopers. Is this where Darth Vader comes in?
Yep.
Does Darth Vader come in here?
Yeah, we'll see him in a minute.
Ah, I can't wait. I like his all black. Oh, what an entrance. Is that thing that the person slipped into R2D2, the plans?
Yes. So that's a copy of our plans. One of the things I love too about these early developments is you don't even realize it, but there's just so many little name drops and little planet references that make the world feel really established, and little things like, the spice mines of Kessel, which will come back with, Solo and a bunch of other movies that'll come back around.
Who played Darth Vader then? Not that I would know.
So Darth Vader is actually a collaborative performance. The physical body was played by David Prowse, who just recently passed away this week. But the voice has always been James Earl Jones, who is an infamous voice actor, obviously known as Mufasa, and a lot of other really powerful roles. But he's really what makes Darth Vader, the voice, obviously. But David Prowse did a great job with the body performance, too, and that physical sort of impression that he puts on people. Oh, Meg's here. Hi, Meg.
Hi, Meg. Sorry. Hi. I feel like there's something wrong with my camera on the YouTube.
Might be a little slow, but I think it's working all right.
I don't know
So
why it's not
C3PO
showing.
and R2D2 have just taken an escape pod from the planet down to the desert planet of Tatooine.
It does look pretty. The planet, the contrast
Yes.
of the red and the little blue hue. I don't know. I really like planets.
Carrie Fisher was 17 when she filmed this movie.
No way.
I think she was either 17 or 19. Pretty sure she was 17. Ah, she was 19,
Can
but close enough.
can I like? It's still very cool. You know, in Rogue One, did they do like the face of um? Did they CGI the face of the people from this movie? I think I
Yes.
might
So,
notice. Am I jumping the gun here?
no, yeah, you're definitely right. Leia's face was CGI'd for the end of Rogue One, and then as you'll see, Grand Moff Tarkin, who appears in this film, his face was completely reconstructed with CGI as well. Actor Peter Cushing,
Yeah.
who we'll meet later on in this movie.
I can't imagine how horrible it is for the mechanics of both R2D2 and C3PO to be in
Yeah,
this
so
hot weather.
yeah,
And how is he rolling on the sand? It's awesome. I love it, but like it's uh, how are his joints frozen in the desert? It's not night.
I more so like clustered with sand, I think.
Just an FYI, guys, the scientist in me can come out sometimes, but I try to like just enjoy the mythology and like the of things as much as possible. But the scientist in me always has to like creep out. So sorry. Is there an actual language that people understand from R2D2, or is it just like social cues from C3PO?
So some people can speak droid. There's not like an official language or anything that like we can understand.
Wow.
It's a lot of it's based on like social cues, for the most part, and
Yeah.
then from there, it's there is like a way to communicate with droids too.
Yeah.
Rebecca makes a great point. Star Wars is absolutely science fantasy. It's not one or the other.
I know. Sometimes I can't help myself.
Eagle-eyed fans too. That's that bone creature in the background is a crate dragon, recently featured on The Mandalorian, which will be pretty cool. And they actually built this that crate dragon out there, and then when they were filming Attack of the Clones, um, about 25 years later, a little under 25 years later, the crew of Attack of the Clones actually stumbled across that bone structure that they just left out in the middle of the Tunisian desert, which is one of my favorite little stories about production.
I look forward to it. Something's in the rocks, stones. Ooh, orange eyes. How did I just emote with R2D2 there when he was that he sounded scared? It's like, yes, I get it. There's two of them. Oh wow. Rest in peace. I know he comes back because I've seen him in so many different things, but like, sad times. They're so cute.
Yes, I love the Jawas.
Are they going to rip him apart for parts, or at least try to?
They usually resell them, as we'll see in a little bit.
Oh, the shape of the machines and stuff in Star Wars is just so fun.
Yeah, a lot of it comes from that great Ralph McQuarrie artwork and that concept art. He designed a lot of what we know and love about Star Wars. But the Sandcrawler is definitely one of those more unique designs.
Where's C-3PO in all of this?
He is still wandering the desert.
How did they lose each other? There's only two of them.
They decided to go separate ways because they were arguing amongst themselves and they couldn't decide what they wanted to do. Their dynamic will be one of your favorites, I'm sure.
I mean, I connected so much to K2SO. I loved him.
Yeah, the droids are some of the best parts in Star Wars.
Oh, there's other moving. Oh, C-3PO is there as well. Oh, Rasha just mentioned your connection to the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's been, it's great how the way the Mandalorian. So you can see here that creature that he's riding on is one of the CGI things that they've added over the years of, trying to improve like little creatures and make things feel a little bit more lived in. So those guys weren't there originally.
I'm enjoying it too, Rasha.
Something I really love too about just the way that George Lucas does his storytelling is, I don't know what the timestamp is, but we're, I don't know, I think like 15 minutes in and we still haven't met our main character yet at all. And I think that that's a really unique way. And I will mention something else when another character comes in a little bit later that I think is just super interesting, and just the way that, storytelling is done in Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, it was similar in Rogue One. There wasn't, but actually, we did meet the main characters at the beginning, but it didn't feel like the plot was starting very soon.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that Rogue One pays a lot of homage to this film in particular. So Luke Skywalker and his aunt and uncle here are moisture farmers. So on Tatooine, it's really hard. Those little objects that are sticking out of the sand, those little white towers, are moisture
Yeah.
evaporators, and that's the type of farming you do on a desert planet. Is you're farming for water.
Mm. I feel like maybe in like maybe Libya or I don't know in the northern North Africa there's structures like this. Maybe not underground, but like I've seen especially in like mountains and stuff. Turkey has them and quite a few places have them as well because of the heat. I think it helps with that. So, but baby Mark, this is so cool.
Yeah.
He's practically a baby here. Pre-Joker.
Yes. Way pre Joker.
Way pre-Joker. Oh my god, injured R2D2. He's just limping on his legs.
Well, they didn't buy R2D2, not yet, anyway. Oh,
Oh no. I like how he's selling his best friend.
I love the performances. Um, just some of the line delivery is just really classic 70s and really fun. There is a certain level of nostalgia that like comes with the performances despite being this like futuristic like sci-fi setting.
Yeah. An oil bath. So, like, why does he want to leave? I guess we'll find out in a
I
bit.
mean, yeah,
But
I think it's just, wanting to get away from home. A lot of his friends at this point have gone to the academy, which we later find out, not in this movie, just but like through more lore stuff, that they're actually going to be pilots for the Empire and work at the Imperial Academy, because that's just what, kind of the overarching powers in the galaxy, and they don't know any better. Um,
mm,
but as we see here, Luke's very interested in the rebellion as well.
ooh. Ah, first part of the message. So, guys, anyone who's joined in, we're at minute 21. Wait, so here Luke doesn't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
So, as we'll find out, Luke knows of a Ben Kenobi, but not an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. Okay. Dune. I like how he's just playing coy. Like, I don't have a message.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great traits of R2D2 is he kind of has different personalities in all the movies, but like that starkiness is always, in them in each movie, which is great. The set design
Yeah.
is so good too. It just feels so rustic, but also at the same time, so foreign that it appears to be, futuristic.
Oh, they know who that is. Memory erased. They generally don't want him to leave. Who are they? Are they his parents? Does he know them as his parents?
So he knows them as his aunt and uncle. And then as you get into the prequels, you kind of learn more about the two of them.
Right.
But he knows they're his aunt and uncle.
Oh, right. Okay. Biggs and Tank are his friends.
Yeah. So those are the little things that sometimes you get dropped that are never really explained again. There's some deleted scenes about it, but a lot of it is just inferring and understanding. Like this is just plot progression. Um,
Yeah.
Eventually everything kind of gets explained in Star Wars, but a lot of it also doesn't. And we're watching now, the Binary Sunset. This is my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. It's a very classic one.
So pretty. It's so pretty. The purple background is just so.
It's these subtle things too of as the music plays, but also like Tatooine has two suns, but it looks so natural, You're like, oh, this looks cool, but like what a sci-fi thing for a planet to have, two suns.
Yeah. Oh no. Do they see stormtroopers now?
No, R2D2 has run away.
Oh. Okay. Were these just sets, or do you think like people could visit them again? The house, like the
So
house.
Some of them are still there. I think a lot of them are closed off because they're pretty far out in the desert. We've seen people visit them. I don't know exactly how decommissioned they are at this point. Um, but it's definitely something that they built up and then never really ended up taking down. So a lot of that stuff is still there, buried, especially like the actual like dome house that people visit all the time.
Mm.
And here's our
I
first
like the
introduction to the Sand
levitating.
People.
Oh, sorry, the what?
These are the Sand People. They're also called
Sand
Tusken
people.
Raiders.
I love that creature. I love the horns. He's so cool.
Yes. So Rasha was asking in chat, the Sand People are not the Jawas. So Jawas are separate. These guys we just saw on the sort of they're called banthas, but they're kind of elephant looking, bull kind of looking things. Those are Sand People, but they're also called Tusken Raiders.
Banthas. That's what they're called. Sorry. Oh my god, he's just hiding. What do the sand people do? Are they like the others? They just want to take
Yeah,
material.
this is cool too. So the noise that we hear there is Ben Kenobi impersonating one of those crate dragons. And I
Uh-huh.
think it's funny. We kind of keep cutting back to it, but these rocks in front of R2D2, those are actually
Mm-hmm.
CGI added in.
Oh,
Originally, it was just
really?
like an open cave, and they were like, he's not well hidden enough. So they started putting rocks. Like you can see it from the back shot that like the rocks aren't really there. And then here's our introduction to Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's awesome. He's like a legend in the Star Wars universe, isn't he?
Yes. And he serves that really great mentor figure on Luke's journey.
I'm assuming he'll be super important in the pre in 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, the prequels. Obi-Wan is my favorite
They've done
character.
so well with like.
One comment mentions Obi-Wan, like a hint or tease of Obi-Wan in um, Rogue One. There is one line that Bail Organa and Mon Mothma have where Mon Mothma asks Bail Organa about his,
Which
his
comic?
friend the Jedi.
Which comic?
So yeah, they like appear very briefly. So it's kind of hard to like tell you which ones they are. They're just like some of the rebel leaders. Um, One had like white robes and orange hair. Um, it's more of like you'll learn more about them as we watch the movies, but they mention a Jedi friend of Bail Organa's who is Obi-Wan. So that's a bit of a deep cut. But there is an Obi-Wan reference, a small one in Rogue One. And C3PO is in rough shape.
Aw. I don't think I can make it. The drama.
C-3PO is a very dramatic character.
Oh, I'm gonna love him, aren't I? I mean, K2SO was the sarcasm was just, and like the Britishness in me loves it.
Yes.
For our sarcasm, I guess. Clone Wars. I'm really excited for this because, like, it gives me a chance to actually understand how the Jedi's came to be, and like to think I lived my life thinking I knew what this was, but only to discover that I hadn't, and I've only watched like bits and bobs, and my brain somehow thought that it was all seen. Imagine just closing down instead of like, oh, that's awesome. Wait, does it actually like?
So I have a blade attachment piece, but not on. Well, I mean, it's over there, but yeah, this is the one you can get at the Disney parks. So a really cool one. Let me see. I should be able to grab it real quick. Yeah. This is good exposition, though. Let me mute my mic, and then we'll let this scene play out.
Yeah. So, guys, we're at the Darth Vader. Okay, so we're on minute 34, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is explaining the death of Luke Skywalker's father. So that's where we're at. For anyone else who's joined, because I've just seen Q coming on. Hi, Q. Ooh, the Force.
There we go.
So good. It makes it sound as well.
Yeah. It's super cool. Well, and here's our message.
The good side.
But yeah.
Pardon?
Here's our message.
Okay. Shh. To me. Older. Ooh. Cool. Obi-Wan Kenobi's pushing him to it then.
So
Rasha,
yeah.
Too.
So yeah, to answer Rasha's question without getting too much into it, she's talking about Bail Organa, who is the king of Alderaan, and we're going to leave it at that for now. That is who she views currently as her father.
Hi, Q. I'm going to see if I can recognize these faces. There he is.
Yep.
right, not to be insensitive, but I'm sure this actor died
Yes. So yeah,
many years.
Peter Cushing died, yes, many years ago. So the version we see in Rogue One is a complete CGI replacement.
And how did they get the voice so right?
I think a lot of it was they didn't give him a lot of lines. I think a lot of it was just reworked from dialogue he has in this film.
Right. They did such a great job with him.
He's a great villain in this film. It's a great scene about, these Imperial officers really believe in their technology and not, the religion of the Jedi and the Sith of the
Yeah.
Force. And by this point, the galaxy doesn't really believe in the Force anymore. But as we see here, the Force is very real.
Wow.
Darth Vader doesn't really answer to anyone other than the Emperor himself, but he does listen to Grand Moff Tarkin here. There's about the only two people that Vader will listen to at this point.
Sorry, I'm really bad with names in general, like
That's
even
okay.
things that I like. So Grand Moff
So
Tarkin
yeah,
is the guy that I was appreciating from Rogue One. Okay, cool.
yes. So Tarkin is his name. Grand Moff is a title. There are a lot of different ones, classic military ones like Commander and Admiral. Moff and Grand Moff are a little more Star Wars-y versions.
Hmm.
And yes, I do love Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa. We're going to see more of him in the prequels, and once we rewatch Rogue One, all that's going to become a lot more clear. You're going to be like, oh, I know that guy, So it'll be great. And here we are at the wreckage of the Sandcrawler. And we've discovered that the Empire has attacked these Jawas. And now Luke is understanding that if they found the droids with the Jawas, the Empire might be going after his family. This is a really
Wait,
great step.
do they die? Oh, Sean! No, no, no. Oh no. They are not. Oh my god.
So, a really powerful scene, one of the most powerful in the saga when you really think about it. But this is really Luke's moment of, in the hero's journey, the hero often refuses the call to action, which is when you see earlier when he's talking to Obi-Wan and, he's like, I can't go anywhere. He's like, I've got to, help my family. And now because of that loss, he now has no boundaries to stop him from going on his adventure. It's a
Wow,
tragic story, but
they were so like they weren't just no.
we have a torture droid, and I love the classic like 1970s really sharp needle syringe torture device.
Do they even use that in hospitals anymore? I think
Not like that.
no.
Yeah, they've been talking about it in chat. I love seeing like raw reactions of yours to the movies. I've never gotten this type of experience before, which is super great. It's it makes the whole thing so much better.
I get really like so if it's too much, just tell
No,
me
it's
about
perfect.
it.
And I think everybody who's watching is really enjoying it too. No, I think Rebecca, you make a really good point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just now. Like he just carried on.
I think that that's part of the storytelling technique of Star Wars, but also um, part of what you need for the story. Unfortunately, when you're telling a story like this, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru truthfully aren't, you know, as important characters to the point where like we have time to mourn them as an audience, or Luke does as a character. This whole sequence here, as we enter Mos Eisley, a lot of this CGI stuff, you can pretty tell this is like early 2000s CGI. A lot of this was added in for special effects of the special editions. You can see the Womp Rats kind of jumping around. Their CGI. This big creature here and the speeder, all added in just to make the world feel more lively, to be able to create more creatures and be able to really make the world feel more Star Wars lived in. I love this added CGI do back for transition. And this is a great scene.
I really like it. Like, I think people should be able to give leeway to directors to improve on their work. It's an important thing, and I don't see the problem with it as long as the main. Sorry. Did he just use his powers? He's sick.
A very cool Jedi mind trick.
And he did it so seamlessly.
So yeah, we'll learn in a second as Luke asks, but that's a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the point, is so long as it's not changing the main story, and it's only improving on the visual element of it and giving the world a better feel, I'm all up for it. I'm sure a lot of directors would like to go back to their movies and change things. Perhaps CGI stuff, obviously not like the story or the main plot point.
This is a great sequence. We get so many different aliens and creatures.
They look so cool. I'm sure the makeup and costumes had a great time.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Letting loose. Just imagine having a space bar where just people from all over the world,
I think the I think it's cool too, because I think this is the first scene where the audience is like, "Whoa, what is this world that we're in? Who are all these people? And there's Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Come on. Discrimination, even when you've got that many different. They're kind of like droids.
Yeah, something we'll learn as you watch more of the movies too is droids are sort of treated as lesser than, and that's one of the great plot points of sort of Star Wars canon as a whole is sort of droid independence and the ability for droids to be treated as equals. It's really great. And actually something I'd like to write about for a comic book debate at some point, another article, is sort of the humanness of droids in Star Wars, despite being treated otherwise.
Oh, I'd love to read that. I can't wait to see that.
It's Ponda Baba.
Ponda Baba. I'll try and remember the name. I can't guarantee it though.
These are really background characters. These aren't the important ones, but
wow. Okay. The saber. Lightsaber. So blue is good, red is bad.
Yeah, generally we can go with that. We'll see. There are lots of lightsaber colors, but blue good, red bad is a pretty standard way to look at it for now.
And then there's purple. I know purple.
Purple. We have also green. And a few others too. I don't want to spoil everything we get to see at some point.
Yeah. Han Solo! Here we go.
So, something that I love too is, we are like 35, 40 minutes into the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we're finally meeting Han Solo. And Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, he kind of took that method for Knives Out. And I think maybe The Last Jedi too. But he, the idea of this like main character showing up, like a third, almost halfway through the movie and still being so important and still so recognizable, I think is really awesome.
Who's gonna fly it, kid? You? You're in for a ride, Han. You've just signed up for the time of your life. Oh no. Wait, the stormtroopers can't see them?
No, they just left really quickly.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So this is a very infamous scene. Greedo is a Rhodian, but the character's name is Greedo.
Okay.
So this is actually the scene that has been changed a ton. I'll explain a little more after it's over, because I don't want to spoil what's about to happen. But this scene has been changed time and time again for the Star Wars movies.
It's changed a bit, like between one scene and the other. It was very bright blue, and now it's muffled. I'm sorry. So he owes him money.
Yes. Well, he owes Jabba the Hutt money, not this guy. This guy's a bounty hunter who's trying to get Han's.
Is he the big slug-like creature? Okay.
So Han Solo has killed Greedo. So originally, when the film released in 1977, Han Solo shot first. Like they fired simultaneously, but Han Solo shot first. George Lucas didn't like that. He didn't think that was good hero qualities. So he changed it to the Greedo shot first, which people didn't like. So there's like a whole campaign of like Han shot first is what it's called. But then when the Disney Plus version came out, they actually added a little line for Greedo before he dies, where it just says like McClunky, or like it's some weird little alien line that they just added in randomly. But they just kind of keep changing this, this whole scene over and over again.
I don't think it matters really much.
No.
Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't really like. A hero isn't just defined by that. Like, there's so many different things that you define a hero by. So, guys, anyone who's joined in, I'm just aware we're at minute 52, and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi with Luke Skywalker
We're
walking
about to
into.
arrive at Docking Bay 94.
Ooh, they've got a follower.
So this scene, yeah. So this is another scene. This was a deleted scene that got added back in the special edition. When they filmed this scene originally, Jabba the Hutt was a human.
Okay.
And they never included it in the movie. And then Jabba shows up in another movie later on. But Lucas wanted to add this scene back, so they re-CGI'd Jabba over this human guy that's playing him. So this scene's going to look a little silly. It looks a little off because originally you've got a human actor where Jabba's standing, but instead now it's this big space slug. To, recap what's happening in like the subtitles, Han Solo, was doing a smuggler run for Jabba.
Yeah.
And he got boarded by the Empire, so he had to drop his cargo. And Jabba's upset because now he owes Jabba money for that cargo that he dropped.
Okay.
And that's what's really funny is when he says that line, he's like, "You're a wonderful human being," like as written originally. And there's Boba Fett, gets a little brief appearance there. But it's very funny, that he's like, "You're, wonderful human being," because he filmed it with a human being. But now that we know it's a giant space slug, it becomes a little bit more of a funny line, And this guy is a Imperial spy.
Oh, okay.
And here's the Millennium Falcon.
Yay! That's iconic. Like,
yes, I was going to point that out, but the rotoscoped Harrison Ford does look very awkward, I will admit.
I mean, the Falcon is another iconic thing that like I've seen everywhere, and I've seen like the Lego thing that I think it's like hundreds of.
Oh, I have that. Yeah, it's an $800 set. I have that. I have a video of me building it on one of my YouTube channels too. I actually work for Lego and do retail stuff for them a little bit. I do that for like holiday, and that was one of my high school jobs. So I have a lot of Lego Star Wars. We'll talk more about that as we keep going throughout this series. But I do own the giant Millennium Falcon, and now we're getting attacked by some stormtroopers.
It's getting real here. Oh my god, I love how they just sat around a circular table and he's just clicked his seatbelt on the circular table. Beautiful shot there. They've just left the planet, and the contrast of the planet to the black galaxy is so pretty.
I'm going to throw it in chat, actually. The link to that time lapse at some point.
Feel free to do so. Sorry, I'm
no worries.
Hopefully, guys, I'll be more tech savvy with StreamYard, and then I can do all the fun stuff that you can. Don't insult his ship. Don't insult a man's ship ever. Wow. Hannah's shooting shots at Luke. That's the Death Star?
Yes, I really love Harrison Ford in this film too. One of my favorite actors. He did so much great stuff with not only this film's franchise, but Indiana Jones and so many other great franchises.
Yeah. Leah. I've been saying it Leia. I'm so
Oh, it's
sorry.
Leia. It's both. He's the only one who pronounces it Leah. So it is Leia. You are absolutely right. You will learn there are a lot of different pronunciations of Star Wars names. There's like Han and Han Solo. You've got
Mm,
Leah and Leia. You get it both ways. Either way is right. Don't worry about it.
okay. His British accent, like, I don't think you find it very like it's not common anymore here, or at least I've not been in any areas where people speak the way he does, which is
It
so
feels very classic Shakespearean.
cool.
That's what it feels like.
To me. It feels a bit more royal, or not, perhaps more like close to World War II times, maybe. Dante.
So you've got Tatooine, Dantooine, lots of planets. So yeah, one of the things here is in order to save her home planet, Princess Leia used a fake planet name or a fake planet location for the rebel base, but they decided to destroy her homeworld anyway. So that's Princess Leia's homeworld with like her father on it and all of her people, and they just blew it up with the Death Star. And now Obi-Wan through the Force can sense the loss of all that life.
Is this their like fifth planet now? Because I've watched Rogue One, so they've destroyed two in Rogue
Yes,
One.
this would be the second planet they've destroyed. Or third. They destroyed
Oh,
Jeddah, and then they destroy Scarif at the end of Rogue One, and then this is Alderaan. So that would be 3. You're right.
it's so easy, isn't it?
Well, that's why they have to stop them.
Oh my god, are those little figures on the table just
Yeah, they're little
toys?
holograms. It's kind of like a galactic chess.
Ah!
So yeah, Chewbacca is a Wookiee,
Okay.
and that's where the very funny Wikipedia name for Star Wars, Wookieepedia, comes from. So if anyone's looking to learn more about Star Wars in any fashion, Wikipedia is the way to go. It's really great.
Hmm. Well, so Q here asks a really cool question. I'm just gonna try and do that.
Yep. Yeah, I think I would be blue. I think I'd be the classic blue.
I don't know. I might be. I choose if I could. I'd choose purple just because I like
Okay.
purple. But I don't know what the significance behind the colors are yet. So, in general, I lean more towards benevolence and good. Although I appreciate the red as well. But here I am in a red hijab. So, like, I thought Star Wars was red in my head. Again, something that I. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, I think purple would work well for you, or maybe green. Depends, you know.
I can't wait to know what the significance behind those colors are.
There's no direct, significance behind them in the films. There is like stuff that it's alluded to.
Mm.
Obviously, we're still kind of getting to know each other, but I think the green would look good, and the personality traits that kind of are associated with them. Blue tends to be a little more of the warrior, kind of the aggressor and the fighter. Green is a little bit more of the passive and wise. Purple, while it looks very cool, is sort of that amalgamation between the blue and the red. So Mace Windu uses a purple lightsaber, and he kind of channels both sides of the light and dark. So that's why his is purple. but also Samuel L. Jackson just wanted a purple lightsaber. But that's what we could talk about when we get to the prequels. We could talk about that a little bit more too.
Yes.
Also, hello, Amanda. Everyone's excited that Amanda's here. It's exciting.
Amanda's amazing. I love her so much. She's awesome.
So now the Empire's realizing she lied about the location of the base.
That looks cool, and that's just like from the 70s.
Yeah.
It still looks believable. I get why this movie like drew so many people in, and I'm sure it was something that was the first of its time in terms of like everything involved in it.
Yes.
I don't want to upset Star Trek people, but I don't lean either way. So, but I appreciate the science fiction of it all. You know, the Emperor, is it called the Emperor?
Yes.
You know, their ships where it's just like those ones, and just imagine I had a third hand and it's straight.
Yeah, the TIE Fighter's the one that we have on screen now.
Yeah. Are they? See, the thing is, I've seen The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Is that the first one by JJ?
Yes.
And it was used in a good way. So in my head, they can be good or bad. But after watching Rogue One and now watching this, they're part of the Empire.
Yes.
The Empire is the bad people. Cool.
Yes, the Empire is the bad people.
I'm just going to call the Emperor.
It's okay. The Emperor is important. He's a character, but it's the Empire right now. Currently, our heroes are trapped in a tractor beam, which is like a... It's hard to describe exactly what it does, but it's like it gets kind of sucked them in, and it's pulling them towards the Death Star, and like they can't escape that. It's like a magnetic beam. I guess we could, for scientific purposes, think of like a magnetic beam that's like, pulling them in.
Yeah, it's almost like a planet that, if you're anywhere near its orbit, you get gravity. Basically, it has its own gravity force.
So yeah, this is a great time to mention it. Sort of these backgrounds here, like we have it to the moving turrets, but these backgrounds are all hand painted. And Amanda was bringing that up in chat. Yeah, I haven't mentioned it much yet, but some of these, hand painted matte paintings are just so beautiful, and they would really help sell the movie. So great, so great.
It still holds up. Like I can watch it now, and I'm just like, it's not bad at all in terms of like production. Oh no. Something bad's going to happen, right? For anyone who's joined, so I've seen a few people join. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes of movie.
So something else I'll notice, and this is like a little thing, but all of these officers with their gray caps and these gray uniforms, they have those very colorful buttons on their chest. And those are just like rank insignias, and they all mean different things. But they're these very colorful squares that you'll see, and you're like, well, what are those for? Those just signify like their rank. This is great. Little hidden floorboards.
I thought I was smuggling myself. Oh, what does this do?
So this is a scanner.
Okay.
So in case they are hiding in the floors and stuff, there's a whole scanning system that can scan the ship for it.
Okay. Rasha, I love Han Solo too.
You know, Han Solo is fantastic. And thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it.
TK421. They're dressed as a stormtrooper. Get him, Chewbacca. That's the only sound he does.
He's got a little bit of like range of different types of growls and noises, but doesn't do much more than that.
Has he ever said any word, anything remotely?
No, it's hard to spell, but he speaks Shiriwook, which is the native language of the Wookiees, and Han Solo can understand him. Not many others can at this point. It's really just like Han Solo kind of speaking for him.
Yeah. He doesn't die now, does he?
Well, you're gonna have to watch. I can't spoil that. I can't be the one to tell you what happens in the movie. That's the enjoyment of the live stream.
No.
That's something too. Who mentioned it? Fazitude mentioned. Yeah, exactly. You're pulling it right up. The sound design in these films is great. You know, the lightsaber humming, Chewbacca's sounds are just a combination of lots of different things. The TIE fighters. Really, from a filmmaking standpoint, obviously the film did so much for Hollywood and film production, but the sound design, this film really invented really technical sound design. Ben Burt was the sound designer on this film. We learned about him in film school. And you know, the work that he done, he got like a special Oscar award for this, and he really was a pioneer in the process of creating sound design.
Yeah.
So without Star Wars, we wouldn't have the amazing sound design that comes with, you know, even, you know, modern movies today, all that great stuff that I know many people in the chat, the stuff that Zack Snyder does, all that good sound design's not coming without, you know, here we are with Star Wars.
You are a Zack Snyder fan, right?
Just saying. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he also happens to be an expert in the Star Wars universe, and I've learned so much from you, and I hope everyone else has. And I am loving this. How is he promising him like a fortune? He doesn't have it.
The idea is that, you know, Princess Leia's rich and like she'll give him money, you know. But they can't guarantee that.
Don't you dare touch me.
I'm going to let you enjoy this scene. I will be back in 2 seconds, but no worries to pause or anything. We're going to leave everybody going. It's a good scene for you to kind of watch yourself. All right, I'll be right back.
I like the height difference. I'm just going to talk about what I'm seeing until he comes back. So um, we're at 1 hour and just hit 13 minutes now. So if anyone's watching, you're more than welcome to. And yes, Amanda, I'm learning so much of Sean. He's amazing, and his reviews on The Mandalorian on Comic Book Debate are really, really great for those who are up to date with Star Wars and aren't a newbie like me. You know, he's been really into it, and I appreciate the work that he's done with The Mandalorian. And yeah, check his stuff out on Comic Book Debate. I'll link I'll link all of his articles after this stream is done for you guys. But if you just go on Comic Book Debate on Twitter, you will find him. Ooh, Darth Vader. That shot looks really cool. It's just like him in his black setup. I feel like he's feeling Obi-Wan Kenobi's energy or force, I believe. Oh, that iconic sound.
Okay, cool. I don't think we've missed much.
No, they've just gone up the elevator, and Darth Vader was just stood in the corridor. And I think Darth Vader is actually feeling the energy or the force that Obi-Wan Kenobi has, and that like made him like go, "What's happening?" And then he changed his course, and now they're in the.
So yeah, Darth Vader senses the presence of Obi-Wan, and now this is a great Prison Break sequence.
Prison Break. That I have watched, and I do know what happens.
This is a good scene, yeah.
It's like Space Cowboys. You're not convincing, Han. You're just not.
This is just, yeah, I love this scene. Han Solo just trying to, impress it. Just, here we go. He just gives up. And he's like, I'm just going to shoot it,
You a little short for a stormtrooper. They aren't extinct.
No, they are not.
I feel like this is the constant like battle that will be present in the next two movies between science and like the religion of the Force. Am I right in that?
Well, there is kind of that overarching theme of, the technology aspect versus, belief in the Force. But I would say that the central conflict is more of that of good versus evil, and kind of the idea of like the Jedi versus the Sith, who are the bad guys, and that's sort of the element I think that is more prominent in the films. But there's definitely aspects of that technology versus, man versus technology kind of theme. And yes, Retrograde Productions. I do believe this has all been digitally processed, picture and sound now.
Hmm. Surely you've got a key that you can open yourself up. I'm just being. Good Lord.
This is such a great scene. I talked about, the power of Leia, and, women in Star Wars are just such a prominent figures, and especially at a time like this in the 70s where you just have like all these male action heroes. To see a scene
Yeah.
like this where, Leia takes charge and like helps everybody escape, and George Lucas always wanted powerful female figures in his films, and it started with Leia, and as we'll see in the prequels, it carries on with Padme,
Yeah.
and then with the Clone Wars, we got Ahsoka, who has been all over Twitter this week. I'm sure you've seen a
Yeah.
little bit. And then finally, with the new trilogy, having a female lead in Rey, without the work of Leia and what George Lucas did for women in film, is
Hmm.
particularly in the action genre. I don't think we get a protagonist like Rey today, or even, a Wonder Woman film.
Yeah.
And here they are in the trash compactor.
Do they? Oh, it's a compact. No one dies in this, do they? I don't want to be.
You're gonna have to wait and see. I can't tell you those things.
Hey,
I can't
I,
tell you. I can't give you spoilers.
I love spoilers. I'm a
No.
good person. I know I love spoilers. Hi, Soups. He's awesome. Soups does like great art and like really awesome illustrations.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
definitely
joining.
recognize the name and the work. So, welcome to the stream. There's something
Um.
in the water.
Oh no. Is it like acid?
Oh, you'll find out.
The eye. Oh no. Not only are they in a compactor, but they're stuck with this creature. Yes, I always want to know spoilers. I'm sorry, guys. The only things that I don't want to spoil for myself are like, I don't know. There are certain things that I don't like being spoiled on, but this, I don't mind like giving me hints. Oh no. Oh, for anyone who's watching, we're at 1 hour and 21 minutes at the moment. Oh no. Smart woman. Smart woman.
Leia is the brains of the operation for sure.
Okay. I mean, the score's really great.
C-3PO is a trickster.
I believed C3PO. Like, I'm. Wait, do they have other C3PO units on the on the ship?
Well, the stormtroopers don't really know any better. They usually do, but they're usually black to match the Empire. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Forgot. Oh well. There's a really funny scene. I think I missed it when they come in. One of the stormtroopers bumps his head on the door accidentally, and like it's become a very infamous scene in the saga.
Yeah. Rashad, that was the same thing that I just said. Am I saying your name right? Is it Rasha or Rasha? Just, I don't want to be saying your name bad. Lee. Badly. I bet they get out of this and they're like this, like close to death. Just take your time, C-3PO. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Made it. We got there.
He thinks they're dying. Such a great scene.
He fully started writing a eulogy. Obi-Wan, no, he's gonna die now. He's gonna die. I feel like he's gonna die.
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
You can neither confirm or deny, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving you guys my prediction. He's gonna die here. Why are you standing on a ledge? Like, dude, can you?
He has to shut down the tractor beam.
I know, but like, I'm protecting him.
They don't really have any guardrails, I guess, on the Death Star.
If you fall, that's on you, mate. It's not on any of. She is right, though. Walking carpet? Burn.
She is ruthless to Chewbacca. Chewbacca doesn't deserve it.
Maybe it's another drill. They really are clueless.
And they're terrible shots. You'll learn it's kind of a joke amongst the community of just stormtroopers never hit their target ever. You know, you've got so many shooting at the, our good guys, but no one ever gets hit.
Oh, something nice being said. He's just running at the stormtroopers.
One of the CGI additions here is they added all these extra stormtroopers in the background. There are just so many. They didn't feel like there was enough, so they made more CGI stormtroopers.
So have you seen the original version and like you know the difference, or is this like just you knowing where they
Um,
added?
so I haven't been able to see the original version in full. They are really hard to come by. There are DVD versions. I've watched them, sparingly.
Yeah,
But there's great like YouTube videos that you can watch of just like scene by scene analysis of the two, and it becomes really clear. But when watching these are the versions that George Lucas wanted us to watch, and
yeah,
I kind of respect that as his artist vision. And you know, these are 4K versions actually that you can get on Disney
yeah.
Plus. So why not
I'm not
watch
against
the
it.
best person you can? Oh, this is a great scene too. I say that about a lot of the scenes. I do love this movie, but this is a really good scene.
No, they really are. Like the the setup. This what are they called? Where they film things in the room.
The sets.
The sets.
Okay.
Yeah, the sets are so well
And yeah, a
done.
lot of it's like matte paintings with like really smart production design, They had very little budget for this movie, and they had to make everything work.
And they did it so well. And I know like it's been, altered in the way that it to adapt it to the CGI that we have now and like the 4K quality that you were talking about, but they've done such a great job with it. I like how it closes as a diamond. That looks so cool.
I think a lot
Oh
of
no.
things too that I think a lot of the things too that people forget to realize is how good the humor is in Star Wars too. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
This is the death, right? No. Okay, it's coming. I am the master. Oh, it turns yellow. Orange.
Yeah, it's a little bit of just the
The colors.
CGI that they've been able to do. What's really interesting too is as you'll see, this lightsaber fight is very different from every other one you'll see in the rest of the saga. When Lucas was doing this, he really wanted to feel like a samurai duel. Very swift, small motions, lots of just holding it up. Nothing crazy and acrobatic like a lot of the other lightsaber fights in the saga are. So people often look at this and say it's the worst lightsaber fight. And maybe from a visual standpoint it is, but there's a lot of really great design that goes into this that's really helpful. And there's even a CGI fan version that's been updated on YouTube. You can find it where someone has like digitally recreated this entire fight with like more acrobatics and more exciting sword fighting per se. But I like it the way that it is currently.
I think it's like it's a great, you know, it's great because I know that it was made in the 70s. So if it was too altered and too CGI'd, it might not feel like its authentic self, maybe. But I'm still enjoying the fight, the battle, the duel. That's more apt. I'm trying to brace myself because I don't really want to have like a big reaction to death.
No, the big reactions are great.
No.
They're so good. We all love them. The chat is loving them.
No. Did he just split him in half?
Nope. Watch.
Did he like teleport himself out? Oh yeah, he did. Okay. He just force spoke to him through the force. I don't know what the word is.
We'll learn more about that in the next movie. I wish I had the reactions you did, but
I'm sure you did back when you first.
Yeah. It's more fun seeing your reactions.
They don't defeat the Death Star now in this one? Because I'm looking at the
I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to keep watching. Sips my milkshake and like tea. It's like I'm drinking the tea, you know? We don't know.
Oh no, the third person he loses.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, I do think that's one of the best parts is, you know, they're authentic.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
And to think this movie doesn't even have like, you know, the shock value of some of the other ones. I can't wait till we get to, you know, some of the other movies you haven't seen where there's some really good, you know, great reactions and, you know, big scenes and all that fun stuff. It's going to be awesome.
A few weeks then.
So,
Fridays, Star Wars.
Rasha was asking about where we are, you know, up to plot wise. So basically, a lot has happened. You're absolutely right. So they have gone into the Death Star. They have rescued Princess Leia. They still have the plans for the Death Star. And now they have to try to escape the Empire to get back to the Rebel base so that they can deliver the plans to the Rebel Alliance. They were originally supposed to deliver to the Rebels the plans on Alderaan. Alderaan then got destroyed by the Death Star. So now they're going to the secret Rebel base. So that way the Rebels have the plans. A lot does happen. So I understand I can feel a little lost, Rasha. It's just so much. The movie moves very fast for as short as it is.
For anyone who's just joined, we're on 1 hour and 36 minutes. Oh, this is a fun.
I love the camera angles and the shots on this. It's a really great moment for our heroes.
He's just entangled in the wires.
Yeah, and Retrograde Productions makes a great point. You know, Lucas, Spielberg, Coppola, all of them, Kurosawa samurai films are direct inspirations and really important part of understanding sort of what the Jedi stand for. Is it really references, you know, feudal Japan and, you know, samurai films. So as we learn right here in that little scene, there's a little bit of exposition that we missed. They've basically put a tractor, like a tracking device on the Millennium Falcon. So the Empire let them get away so they can lead the Empire right to the Rebel base. But they don't know the tracking device is on there.
No. I know what the weakness is because I watched it.
That's what's great about watching, you know, Rogue One too, is it explains a lot of what happens here, but it makes a great companion piece of I know what's happening now, even more so. And you know, it's funny because these three heroes that we follow through this original trilogy, they have no idea about Jyn or Cassian or K2SO. Like they have no idea, you know, who these characters were, but it directly influences, you know, their whole journey for the rebellion, and it's really special.
But isn't that like a general commentary on like the world now? Like we don't know a lot of people who put a lot of things into place for us to be able to, like, you know, get through horrible things and, you know, fight the good fight. It's just so interesting to remember that there are unsung heroes. Like, I absolutely loved Cassian and Jin. They were so amazing.
Well, the Cassian series is filming right now. He's getting his own TV show for Disney Plus, which is super awesome.
No way.
Excited for that. And then quick little scene. I don't know if we saw it because we were discussing a little bit, but Han Solo was kind of asking if he thinks or if Luke thinks he has a shot with Princess Leia, and Luke's like, no, there's no way that she would, ever be with a guy like you, that kind of thing. And yeah, Retrograve keeps adding in some really great points. Flash Gordon, was Lucas's other inspiration, kind of Kurosawa and Flash Gordon, and instead he made an amalgamation that is far more famous than Flash Gordon by now. So I think Lucas won out on he won out of that deal.
Please don't tell me they blast off this planet too. Sure.
I can't share.
How many planets? Oh my god, they're actually gonna do it. No way.
I don't know.
They're gonna blow them up to smithereens.
So there's some clarification here. So the Rebel base is on a moon surrounding this planet. This moon is the fourth moon of Yavin. So this is Yavin 4. The planet is Yavin. It's a lot of names, but that's another instance of them saying Leah instead of Leia, but it's Leia.
I think I might switch between the two. I don't know.
Both work. We'll all know who you're talking about too.
Thank you, Jin's father. Again, this is an example of me being bad with names, and I only watched the movie last Friday.
It's not bad. It's pretty great too, because when you watch this movie, in the 1970s, or up until I guess right before Rogue One came out, you're like, oh, that's really convenient that there's like this exhaust port,
Yeah.
But it was put there on purpose, so everything has a meaning and a purpose there, and we can thank Galen Erso for that.
Galen Erso. I'll try and remember his name.
So Rasha asks, isn't this the plot in one of the newer movies? So there might be two instances you're thinking of. Rogue One, which we watched last week, or you watched last week at least.
I'll link the thread to that tweet thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then that film was about getting the plans to stop the Death Star. So that leads directly into this film. The other instance you could be thinking about is The Force Awakens, which is a part of the sequel trilogy. That movie also kind of ends with a similar style Death Star sequence kind of thing. So you might be thinking of that. But more recently, Rogue One, which is probably a little bit more of what you're thinking. And as Baba said, we'll link that thread later on.
You can link my first reactions, but we'll still do a watch along again, because
that'd be awesome.
Let's have a discussion and maybe have. May the Force be with you. I loved Chirrut saying, "I am
one with the Force, and the Force is with me."
And the Force is with me. Yes, I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. I think going back to the point that you made about, a lot of people had issues with, oh, it's so convenient to have that being the weakness. is that even a coworker of mine, when I told them that I was watching Rogue One, they said, "Yeah, it's one of my favorites purely because it actually makes sense as to how that weakness was brought about." And he was very like adamant that this movie is a great movie, and like I also agree with his
And
sentiments.
this is the introduction of Biggs, who Luke mentions earlier on Tatooine. So one of the guys. What's really cool is kind of fill some of those gaps in, but also what you were talking about is I think what's great about Rogue One too is other than this movie, like Rogue One feels the most like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll notice the movies feel very similar of the two now that you've seen. But as you begin to watch some of the other ones, you know, they're still all great. But Rogue One and A New Hope really do feel like, you know, thematically very similar in a lot of ways. And I think that that was really great for a lot of classic Star Wars fans to go see Rogue One and feel like they were seeing the original all over again.
You wouldn't want my life to get boring, would you? Oh. There's 20 minutes left. Do they defeat it in 20 minutes?
I can't answer these questions. These are the things we have to watch for. There's only 20 minutes left.
Okay.
I love all the helmets and the ships. And I think going back and watching Rogue One, you'll be able to pick up a lot of really great little Easter eggs and, you know, different themes that, you know, reference back to this. One of which I'll just kind of point out now. So Luke's call sign is Red 5. So he's part of Red Squadron. And the Red Squadron is actually at the Battle of Scarif at the end of Rogue One. But the current the Red 5 in that battle, he gets blown out of the sky. So that's why Luke takes up the mantle of Red 5, because they need someone to kind of fill that role. So it's the little things like that that make a lot of sense.
I love how R2-D2 is just like on the ship, on like not even inside. He's just like swiveling his head around in space.
I love the little, you know, military sort of communications that they do. It's so good. And I think you're really going to love this whole sequence. This is what really starts to blow people away, and just how well this whole dogfight and, you know, space sequence is done.
They've got those funny helmets too, but in black. I want one. Wow. Like this was made in the 70s. It's so awesome. Luke's never flown before.
It's really
How's he?
well. I didn't mention it earlier, but when they're having that oil bath scene and R2D2 has the message, Luke's holding like this skyhopper ship, which is like a sort of this small one-man craft that they fly on Tatooine. So he has some piloting experience, and because he has, you know, the Force, he's a better pilot too, as we're gonna kind of see as Ben's sort of talking to him. Some of the characters are very rudely named. We just saw a pilot die, who's a little bit more heavy set and his name was Porkins. That's what they called him. That was his name. It's kind of messed up now in modern times, but at the time, people really love the character of Porkins. And now we've got enemy TIE fighters who are entering the scene.
What are they called again? Those circle thingy ships.
So those are TIE fighters. Think of it like a bow tie. So that's like they look like a bow tie. So they're like TIE fighters.
Okay.
Now Darth Vader is entering the battle. Oh.
I like those like clear screens that they look cool. The green lines on the clear screens.
So this is Wedge Antilles. He's one of the few pilots. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but Wedge is one of the few pilots to kind of make it through all three movies. He's a really good like B or C character that you're gonna kind of see pop back up here and throughout the trilogy.
Ooh, Darth is doing it.
And of course, since Darth Vader has the Force, he's a really good pilot too.
I'm really looking forward to see like how the Force thing is, how it is, and where they all come from, and this is cool.
So to answer Rosh's question, then I'll share some information about the ships. Rogue One takes place right before this movie. So Rogue One takes place like days or even like a week right before this movie. And then that leads right into this movie. It leads literally right in. So it makes a great double feature. But Rogue One takes place right before this. As for some of the other ships, Darth Vader's TIE fighter is TIE Advanced. So it's a little bit more of an advanced fighter. Those ships that they're targeting now, those are Y-Wings. So what's really great about Star Wars ships is most of them are named after the alphabet letters that they look like. So Luke's flying an X-Wing because it makes its wings kind of fold out like an X. These ones that they're shooting at now are Y-Wings because they look like Ys. There's B-Wings, A-Wings, lots of them. D-Wings. And those guys are bombers. So the Y-Wings are more bombers. And yes, this is very true. Retrograde Productions. And actually, what was great too is later on the Clone Wars, George Lucas would tell Dave Filoni and the animators to watch World War II dogfight footage to kind of give them inspiration for their starfighting sequences, and that's really helps with a lot of them. So the first run on sort of this trench run to drop the bomb down the reactor shaft didn't go well. So now Luke, Biggs, and Red Leader are going in for their trench run.
Okay.
Yay, it's clicking for Rasha. That's awesome. We'd love to see it. So these are the targeting computers. Tell them when to shoot.
Okay. Oh no. No. Just get there. Come on. Oh,
that was still almost there.
Yes. Oh my god. It didn't. Oh God.
That's a great point about the score. So good. So that was Red Leader. So now Luke
Mm-hmm.
has no commanding officer like out on the battlefield with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Wedge. Luke and Wedge are going in, and there's Biggs.
Ah, I feel like it's either Biggs or Wedge that's gonna get it. Listen, right, this isn't me wanting to spoil. I just want to
I'm not
see
here to
like,
spoil Star Wars for you. I'm here to help you enjoy the process of watching Star Wars for the first time.
right. Okay, okay. How has it just clicked that R2 is in the same ship with Luke? I was like, where is R2?
So yeah, every most of the individual starfighters have room for the droids, so the droids can either do repairs or they can take over manual control, or do automated flying. So now Wedge peels off because he got damaged. Whoa, that was cool. I've never really noticed that before. There's a picture of that shot of Darth Vader. You can like very clearly say his eyes. I've never
Yeah.
noticed that myself. That's really cool.
Oh my God, we've learned something new together.
Isn't that great? That's awesome. I didn't know you could ever see David Prowse's eyes.
Like, wow,
That's very cool. Oh no.
that's not Luke. Oh,
That was
was that
Biggs.
Wedge?
No, that was
Biggs.
Biggs. It's just Luke now.
Again now.
It's just Luke.
154. Go back to it afterwards and you can see his eyes again.
Okay.
If you want. You can see it again now. I'm obsessed with it.
I could pull it back up on my own too. Oh.
Use the Force, Luke.
So Luke has his targeted computer.
Wow. He's fully feeling it.
This is so good. I'm getting chills, honestly. I get chills every time. Oh no. Our two got shot. So the Death Star has the planet in range. So they're about to destroy the planet, or they have to destroy the Death Star.
Oh my God.
It's a very intense sequence.
Luke can't die. He's in the next movies. Ah, the Falcon.
So yeah, I don't think we talked about that too much, but Han Solo basically said, I'm not going to help you. I want to, look out for myself, and he left. But then he comes back at the end to save Luke. Luke now uses the Force, fires the proton torpedoes. It goes down the shaft, and
Yes! That looks so cool. That shot looks so cool. 1 in a million. Is Obi-Wan dead now? Did he stick around up until the end? And now he's dead? Sean, no.
This is why we have more movies. We have more movies to watch.
Tell me.
I can't tell you.
Okay. That was such a cool shot, and it was made in.
Oh, their chemistry is
Man,
so
come
infectious.
on,
It's so
come on!
good.
Welcome to the rebellion. You're part of them
Oh
now.
man.
Oh, R2D2. Oh. You gladly donate his sword. Just an FYI, guys.
This is like one of my favorite. Like this is the scene. I want this jacket so bad. His golden jacket is so nice. It's such a good look.
That looks so cool. She looks beautiful. Chewbacca's just yelling. Wow. I love her necklace. Sorry, I like my
No, it's
jewelry.
great. No, I don't blame. Like she looks great. And now they get some bling. The Yavin Medal of Honor. Yeah, I've seen the video that Rosh is talking about. It is very funny to watch the seat without music because there's very little dialogue and it's just like kind of awkward. The music is what really makes this scene. You know, nobody's talking.
Yeah.
R2's all better.
Oh, he's just like plodding away like a little penguin. Da, 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 da. Oh, I thought the main one.
Yay! We have finished A New Hope.
Yay!
That's awesome.
That was so cool. I didn't expect to like, well, I knew I'd like it because I enjoyed Rogue One, but like that was fun. And for a 70s movie, I'm sure there are other great 70s movies.
It's not, yeah, but not like that. I think there's just something so incredibly magical about what Star Wars was kind of able to capture. And, you know, it's hard to kind of put your finger on it. And I think people have tried. It's really difficult to look at everything they did and just everything worked so well.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really like look at one element and say this is the reason why Star Wars was successful, you know? So I think that that's, you know, something that's really important to kind of keep in mind is you can't really describe the magic that comes with Star Wars. It's just like a feeling, and it's such a deep look at the human experience, and there's just something so powerful that you just connect to on a level that like you can't even understand. It's just like a feeling that you kind of have. And I think having an appreciation for that and understanding for it, like that's why the movie still works today. And like you can go out and watch, you know, or upcoming, you can watch movies like Godzilla versus Kong, where you've got like crazy, you know, cinematic CGI monsters and beasts and really like top, you know, not cheesy acting, and yet that still doesn't work as well, you know, even though it's more visually stimulating and feels more realistic. There's something just about Star Wars that works on another level. But, you know, I've been talking a lot. The movie's now done. Tell me what you thought. Like, what were some of your favorite parts? What are things you really enjoyed?
A lot of like the scenes, and because it's made really well, and like I'm just trying to let it sink in at the moment. But a lot of it was so much fun, and like I don't know, it was. I mean, you guys saw my reactions to them. I mean, I'm sure they'll be gifted somehow, some way. But I think the Darth Vader parts and the Force being something that was slowly introduced, and I'm sure because it was the first movie that was ever out for Star Wars, it was a really interesting idea, and that's something that I would be interested in, because like at the moment I'm watching his Dark Materials, and I'm really into like what makes that universe tick, what is the essence of it, and I think so far from what I've gathered is that the essence of Star Wars is the Force, and it revolves around that and holding on to it, perhaps. Because in Rogue One, you had Chirrut, who I love him so much. I love him so much, and his death, well,
all of their deaths are rough,
yeah.
But yeah.
But like, I think that's the main like essence of it all, and seeing how the rebellion and the empire work against each other to fight against that essence is something that I'm really interested in. And obviously you've got the beautiful imagery that you get with the planets and how they contrast with the galaxy effect behind them, and you've got the characters, and then the score is so good. The score is so good. So iconic. But yeah, so far it's just those things are the things that I'm most excited about. Yes, I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Very true. So the people want to know, when is the Empire Strikes Back watch party?
Well, we'll tweet the details.
Yes, we will.
Just so we can sort out the times, because as you guys know, I'm in the UK and Sean is in
New York area. Yeah, the US on the New York
side. Time zones are a really hard thing to like deal with, because at the moment it's nearly 2 a.m. and you guys, it's still the evening, so hopefully we'll sort something out for you guys and I'll let you know. But so far I think Fridays seem to be the best day for me to be able to watch something and have like the weekend off, and I don't know for Sean, but we'll sort something out, and hopefully for the next, I don't know, 7 movies. 7?
Yeah. No, there's a little more than 7, but so you've got 2 more plus 3, 5, 8. There'll be 10 more. There's 11 total movies. So if we're gonna rewatch Rogue One, then that means there'll be 10 more.
We're definitely doing that because I love that movie.
Okay, awesome.
If you're on board with that, but yes,
absolutely.
We'll sort it out, and hopefully it'll either be a bi-weekly thing or a weekly thing, depending on what's going on. But yes, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this. And Sean, do you want to say where they can find you?
Yeah, no, you can find me on Twitter at RealSeanHussey. I've already seen a couple of people start to follow me, so thank you very much for that. And then again, I write weekly Mandalorian reviews on Comic Book Debate, and then once the Mandalorian kind of ceases, expect to see some of that Star Wars editorial content that I kind of was teasing throughout this, and you can always just find me here whenever we do one of these again. This was so much fun. I know you were really nervous, and I hope you had fun. I had a great time. I love doing stuff like this, and I didn't mention this, but I could talk about it now. I really don't watch Star Wars like that often, despite how big of a fan I am. I usually watch the movies, maybe one movie per year, or I'll usually take a year or two break between like watching. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. I'll usually take a long time before I watch all of them. So to kind of watch it this way will be really interesting. And like, I'm always interested in watching, because some things, I'm a big Office fan. Like I can quote The Office all day. Even Star Wars. Yes, Office is great. Even things like Star Wars, like I was watching this and I was like, I don't even remember this line, or I don't remember sort of that shot, or, this one element. And I think that's what's part of the magic of it, is I like to come back around and, rediscover the movie kind of for the first time again. And it's something that keeps my love for it growing very much. And thank you to everybody who kind of hung around. I mean, we had a really good, solid group of people who were sticking through with us throughout the entire show, and people who came in and out. Thank you so much. It's always nice. I don't always have a platform to like post things on. It's not something that I do. I'm really busy with other projects. So to be able to come in and have people, listen and hang out is always something that I really enjoy. So thank you for having me on. I can't wait to do this again. And thank you to everybody who was hanging out.
No, thank you so much for like giving me your time for this and guiding me through Star Wars. It was your reviews and your passion for the Mandalorian and just your general like what you wrote. I read those, so I've probably been spoiled. But again, when I read them, I was like, I have no idea who these characters are or what this means to anything. But the passion and the love for this universe was there. And then when I saw the Rogue One stuff, I was like, okay, cool, that's why don't I give it a go? And lo and behold, I hadn't watched any of them in reality. So yeah, I thought you were the best person to bring along with this, and I'm so thankful that you're doing this with me, and I'm so thankful for every single person who joined and commented and watched along with us. It means a lot to me that you guys are supporting this and you're enjoying this too. So you can find me on Twitter at FringeBats and same on Instagram and the Fatmaverse here, and Fatma with 2 A's on Vero. The links are in the description box below, and I'll add more of the links to the Twitter thread that we were talking about and a few other things as well. I think that's about it. But thank you guys for joining.
Thank you guys.
Till next time. Have I ended it?